All right, so my next two, I'm putting two together here because I found out that these companies are owned by the same person. They're going to be made by the same manufacturer. The packaging is the same. The little mesh net thing that the belt comes in is the same. The levers are the same. Um, and again, like on this guy's LinkedIn profile, he owns both companies, so they're going to be the exact same. So Saint Kaizen or Kaizen and Katamu. Um, Story about Katamu before we get started. Obviously, you guys know I'm Matt from Pioneer. I own and operate Pioneer Fit, a company that specializes in making weightlifting belts and have for 47 years. I've seen this. I've seen some things. I've done some things, um, but kind of not to be braggy, but it puts me in a position to be able to have these things in front of me and be able to give you guys an opinion, albeit probably biased because these are competitors of ours. So it's just informative for you guys to be able to see the inside of these belts that I would never expect you to cut up and do yourself. So I'm trying to do that for you. But Katamu came about probably 5 or 7 years ago. Um, they got super viral on TikTok utilizing our PAL lever, our exact PAL lever. And I've got some screenshots I'll post on there. They were nobody until then, and then those videos got millions and millions of views and kind of catapulted these guys into into probably the position they are now. Obviously, those are bold claims. I'm not saying that they're the only reason that our buckle is the only reason why um, they are famous or whatever. But I am saying that they did utilize our design to gain some notoriety. So take that with a grain of salt. They've also done some shady things like using our name and keyword searches and on their website. They did take those down after we emailed them, but at the same time they've been uh, not necessarily stealing designs or anything. I'm not going to claim any of that stuff, but they have been piggybacking off of the things that we've done for years and years and gaining some notoriety. So after all that said, uh, both of these belts came in. They've got holes in their boxes. They've got some sort of the holes in their boxes. They've got some sort of fragrance on them and in the boxes. I do remember, and I don't know if I have screenshots, but if I do, I'll send them. I'll put them up on the screen. A lot of their negative reviews and comments on Facebook, especially, were how bad they stunk. And it's just indicative of where they're made. These belts are made overseas, most likely China, possibly Pakistan. And whenever they get shipped in shipping containers, and that mildew and that musky smell, um, obviously leather is a porous material. It'll get in there and it smells awful. These belts still smell awful. They do not smell like leather at all. Um, First and foremost, the embroidery on it, embroidery solid. It's that same cheap suede that real fine nap that doesn't really feel like suede too much. The inside of this Katamu belt's a little bit different, and you can kind of probably tell it on this video. Um, it's got a little bit thicker nap, probably a bit higher quality, I guess. I'm not sure. Um, this belt was actually cheaper, but it was on sale. I didn't want to give these guys too much of my money because I know I've already dissected their belts multiple times. I just never put it on video. So this is some sort of carbon fiber print video or print or embossment on the outside. It does look cool, but just like any of these guys that buy their stuff overseas, it's very much lipstick on a pig. I got a feeling when I cut into these, it's going to be dyed chrome tan leather and as cheaply made as possible. But we'll see if that happens when I cut into them here in a second. First, before I do that, the high gloss, high rubberized finish on the outside seals the edges nicely. I'm not going to gripe about it too much. It does feel good. I think the gloss is a bit much. I think that's overkill in my opinion, but that is just an opinion. The lever itself, I can tell you, whoever's got these is going to have issues. Just like the two-pood belt, it's got push pins on the pivot points. Those are going to be problems. There's already some slop in these arms. that's going to be a problem. They'll start to bend and they'll walk and they won't close, they won't operate or close as well as it should. And your leg in the bottom is shorter than it should be. Um, so yeah, I do think that there is going to be a bit of an issue with the lever, especially in the pins. The leg maybe not, but I do think the pins are going to have an issue. It looks like it's probably made out of a zinc die cast. It feels that way. It's a little boxier than ours, maybe a little bit shorter. I will do a comparison video on our materials versus all of these materials at the end of this series, so stay up to date there. But Saint Kaizen is this black one with the angel wings. They're a Christian company, apparently. I don't think Katamu is. Much darker designs on the Katamu side. This one is supposedly some sort of Christian-based faith company. I've got a big problem with exploiting cheap labor for massive profits on the faith side of that, but again, that is opinion piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this. So cut right in the middle, and then I've got to do some work to try to get through the. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a black piece on the inside. The leather itself, those are. It looks like two probably on this video, but this side there's actually 1 tube brown, a black. It looks like 1 tube brown, and then your suede. So you got suede, 4 pieces of brown, 1 piece of black, which I'm going to assume is some sort of robust leather as a stiffening agent, and then a piece of black suede on the outside. So I'm going to cut this video. I'm going to try to tear off the stitching and kind of get these separated so you can kind of see what this looks like. All right, so I'm back with Saint Kaizen and Katamu, or Katamu, however it's said. Obviously, earlier in the video about them being the exact same. This solidifies it for me. This is that carbon fiber, which is just a vinyl of some sort, textured vinyl on the outside, suede on the inside. And then it looks like 2 pieces of brown, 1 piece of black, 2 pieces of brown, and then obviously your outside materials. But after closer inspection, which I'll take a closer video of this is what I was talking about. So this is layers and layers of cheap leather board pressed together really, really tight to make these belts as inexpensive as possible. Which I think this middle piece, from what I can tell, is just another piece of suede. It's just a filler piece so that they're not having to use the leather, which is probably just a little bit more expensive. So it's a little bit of a cost cutting deal. So it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It has not changed since the last time I cut into one of these. Pretty finishes and really awful materials as far as the application goes. 1 solid piece of leather, or 2 at the most solid pieces of leather. Not this kind of leather, but actual veg tan leather. Makes belts more expensive, but it also makes belts higher quality, more longevity, more durable, those kind of things. So for these guys to demand a top of the line price for a very bottom of the line product, it is telling, in my opinion at least. So no knocks on anybody that bought one of these, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to let you guys understand that what you're paying versus what you're getting for that money are pretty far apart. So Saint Kaizen, Katamu, keep making these.